Hello and welcome back to Exchanges, the Alex Martin podcast. Today's guest has over 40 years experience in his field. He is an expert in his field and his name is Gary Fields.
Thank you very much.
Put that in the car, by the way, when I was in traffic.
The name fits in with that sort of thing, doesn't it?
Yeah. So, Gary, what is it that you do?
So I'm a corporate insurance broker. We deal with companies in a whole number of fields, literally across the board, from one-man band contractors to large companies who have either chains of restaurants or nightclubs, or we've got a couple of clients who are involved in the satellite communications industry at quite a high level for us, and we deal with all of their insurance requirements, UK, worldwide, whatever they need really.
Okay.
And that's what I do.
You're going to make this sexy then?
So that's exactly what I was just going to say. Without sounding disrespectful, to me, when I hear insurance broker, I think boring. I think like in a sweaty office, sweating on the phone. But it's obviously not. Otherwise, you wouldn't have been doing it for over 40 years.
Well, a lot of insurance is sitting in an office on the phone to clients, to insurance companies and what have you. But the bits that I like are going out to see clients, understanding their business, see how we can help them. And in the real world, nothing can move in the real world without insurance. And actually, the insurance policy is not sexy at all. No one's interested in that. But what we can do to help clients manage their risk on a whole number of levels is actually quite interesting. And we end up being lawyers, accountants, insurance brokers, HR advisors, all those, surveyors, all those things to clients. And the more we understand about a whole range of businesses, the more we can help them. And that is the bit that is interesting to me. That's what keeps me coming in to work every day. And I still, after 40 years, I still love what I do.
Yeah. Is it always an emergency? Because whenever I've rung you, it's like, this can't exchange. They haven't got insurance. They can't find it. Sort it.
Well, 90% of our work isn't an emergency, but 10% is. And that's because clients don't remember to phone us to get their properties insured or new vehicles insured and things like that. And that becomes an emergency. And that's exhilarating in the same way as any industry. Last minute deals are really, really exhilarating. Whereas the ongoing ones day to day aren't as exciting, but they pay the wages, don't they?
So I did a little bit of research before we came, and it said here, you've been running businesses from 1987 to 2012.
Yep.
So you're not running businesses anymore?
No. So I started my first business in 87 and we sold that in 2005. I started another business in 2000. Sorry, did I say 87?
Yeah.
So 87 to 2005, we sold that business. I had 3 partners in that. In 2007, started another business, which ran till 2012, which was one of my issues I was sort of talking about earlier. Unfortunately, that business folded, not in a good way.
Can you fold in a good way?
Well, you can wind a company up. You can take all the cash out and wind a company up, I suppose.
Yeah,
I think you can. But we didn't, unfortunately, and I had a lot of my pension effectively tied up in that business. And sorry,
ouch.
Yeah, ouch. Yeah,
it just gets completely taken away.
Well, the business ran out of cash, and we had to call in administrators, and the administrators take over, and that's the end of it, really. Yeah, that was quite harrowing. It all happened quite quickly. Interesting story. I think it's an interesting story, and
Please do tell if you can.
Well, yeah. So we started a company in 2007. I actually started it with a property investor client of mine, and the business was centered around just property clients. And we grew the business, and in 2011, we listed the company on the stock exchange, on the AIM stock market. I was the CEO at the time, and we actually opened the stock market that day. I actually did that, pressed the button to open the stock market.
That was cool, I bet.
That people don't realise that, how good that was. And
Any recording?
Sorry?
Any recording of
Yeah,
that?
we've got a recording of it, got photos of it, absolutely. Yeah,
It must have felt like Jordan Belfort.
Well, it was a bit like that. And for 2 years, I can't remember why, but for 2 years before we opened stock market, they'd stopped new businesses opening the stock market. And the previous one to us was just a month or so beforehand. And I can't remember the name of it, but it's a mining company. It's absolutely bloody huge. And there couldn't have been any greater difference between the size of the companies. They're a multi-billion pound company and we were a relatively small company. But part of what they did, when you listed, was you had the opportunity to open the stock market. So we did that. So we're on a balcony, press a button, and there's our company logos going all around the digital screens and everything. It was absolutely amazing. And that was great. But unfortunately, some of the numbers that had been calculated didn't quite work out, and I was the CEO, so I took the biggest hit basically. Yeah, and then had a couple of really tough years after that, and in 2014 started working for an old friend of mine who owned Turner Rawlinson, and we grew that business, and that got sold in about March 2023. So
how did you pick yourself up? How
tough?
How big was the hole that you were in? If you don't,
no. I mean, it was a big hole. Suddenly, my income just went away. All the shares I had, which were worth, a reasonable amount, 7 figures, they all disappeared, and that was effectively the money that I was going to use to live the rest of my life, really. So we had to sell our house, downsize, all that sort of thing, and for 2 years it was really, really, really tough. Wow. Really tough.
Well, well done for coming back from that.
Well, look, thanks. I think, I'd like to think that most people would do that, but you've got to have a bit of inner strength to do it, because it's just really, really, really hard thing to do.
Well, it's so easy, I guess, to make even more wrong decisions. I'm not saying that you made a wrong decision, but if you're that deep in shit, to then just keep, doing the wrong thing and doing the wrong thing, that's probably the easiest time to do it.
Yeah, and I think within those 2 years, I probably made a couple of bad decisions, but they weren't that destructive, and it was short term, and I just had to get back to what I knew.
And what was the foundation of that?
What do you mean?
In terms of you had to get to a solid foundation to build from there.
Absolutely.
Sounds like you're in a ship and you're plugging holes and just trying to survive.
Yep.
Something must have changed where you went, okay, I know what I'm doing now.
Well, I think I took about 6 months off before I started at Turner Rawlinson.
Okay.
So, and I needed that time off because the previous 18 months had been a bit of a whirlwind. I'd done a couple of things and hadn't really made any money or made any headway.
Was
more
that
importantly,
in the insurance game?
Always in the insurance game. And then after that, once I'd had the 6 months off, I just I had my head on straight. Most of the previous stuff had died down, and then I just needed somewhere to start again. And Tony, who owned Turner Rawlinson, was an old mate of mine from many, many years ago, and I had a chat with him, and he sort of opened the door to me. He needed someone to come in and help plug a few gaps there, and actually almost from the day I walked through the door, it's been an upward curve, really. That's what I think.
Yeah.
He might say something different, but so back in the game, getting back in the game.
Makes you appreciate what you got now as well, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. And what I found tough was you have a standard of living, and suddenly you don't have that standard of living. And my wife was great at that, and suddenly she took control, I think, of the finances and said, look, we can't do that, and we can't do that, and we need to cut that back. And we did all of that. So it's a bit of a team effort, but she certainly led that, and that sort of stemmed the flow of cash, because we were talking before about cars, and it's lovely to have a nice car, and I've been lucky enough to have a few, and suddenly you can't afford that. Well, we were quite good at okay, I can't afford that. Let's get rid of that. I'm going to get a smaller car and you know, cost no money and all that sort of thing. And you have to get used to that.
So you're a director at Turner Rawlinson?
Well, I was a director of Turner Rawlinson. Turner Rawlinson literally sort of ceased to exist as a company, not a trading entity, but as a company a couple of weeks ago. And so my title still changed, but my role is exactly the same.
What's your title now?
That is a good question. I think I'm an account director.
I thought you were going to say cleaner.
No. So I'm an account director. I've got a team of people. There's about half a dozen of us, and you know, we control, you know, the vast majority of the business within our now branch of the company. But the company we work for, which is now called Everyone because they've changed their name, they're huge. They're a multi-billion-pound income business.
Yeah.
With, you know, thousands of employees in the UK.
Oh, big corporate brand.
Big corporate brand. And
is that going to make you harder to reach?
In terms of contact with clients?
Yeah.
Absolutely not. I mean, we are just literally, our business is all about being available.
Yeah.
So phone's on all the time, you know, emails are on all the time. If clients need to get hold of us, it's, it's just pick up the phone.
Has Gary been available to you when you need him most?
100%. Whatever it is, there is only one number in my phone when I need insurance, be it for home, for family, or I've got some pastor who is like desperate to insure a building that has no hope of getting insurance via anyone else. You always find the solution.
Yeah, I think that's what we're good at. I mean, there are thousands of really good insurance brokers out there, and we often get asked, you know, what differentiates you? Well, I can't really comment on all of the others who are mostly really good, but I know that the types of people we deal with, they'll phone us up at the last minute. We need this the insurance completed to do a deal, and we'll do our best to get that done. Mm-hmm. And we'll drop everything, you know, and we'll make the calls, and we know enough people to make the calls too.
So you said to me you can make insurance sexy. Come on, give us a story.
Well, can I make insurance? I don't think I said I could make insurance sexy, did I?
Oh, yeah, you did. I got it in writing.
Yeah. I think
overlay the text.
Yeah. I think the sexy bit is.
But it must be mad. There must be funny stories, strange buildings, whatever. You've got something in the bag. Come on.
God.
What is the most mental thing that's ever happened on a work day?
Well, I can't even tell you that. I mean, there used to be a bit of a scam where we'd have clients phone us up and insure diamonds, single diamonds, valued at, you know, hundreds of thousands, and that there's good insurance premium in that. Yeah. And so we'd phone, and there's a restricted market in that sort of thing. So we'd phone someone up and say, look, we've had this phone call from this guy. They want to insure a diamond that's worth maybe £250,000 just in transit from Amsterdam to the UK. And they'll say, yeah, we've had that call from about 10 other brokers, you know, and because people out there think the insurance market is not going to talk to each other. Yeah. There's not that many insurance markets for that sort of thing. Those sorts of things happen. We've got, I mentioned before, you know, one of our largest clients, they are a satellite communications company, and they put 4 satellites up into orbit. They've been going for quite a few years. Those things are quite interesting, and we've sort of looked at the
ballpark insurance to stick a
satellite. Well, the satellite insurance, the first year's insurance includes the launch. Yeah. So you've got launch and a year in space. For a satellite worth maybe 300 million, that will be probably £10 million, something like that. What? $10 million. Yeah.
You get a commission on that?
Yeah, if we place it, yeah, we do. Yeah.
How does the commission work on something like that?
Actually, rather than commission, it's normally fees.
Yeah.
But the fees will be, you know, hundreds of thousands.
Okay.
Yeah. You ever had Elon Musk on the phone?
No, we haven't had Elon Musk. And of course, the value of the satellites is massively reduced because he's thrown up hundreds, and Amazon are throwing up hundreds of satellites.
Yeah.
To improve the communications.
Don't want to get too messy here, but one thing I've always been one thing I've never really understood, which I'm sure you can explain to me, is why do some restaurant owners purposefully burn down their restaurants or pub owners, or
because they think they're going to get the insurance money without any question, and they normally, presumably, do it because they're short of cash or the business is going out of, they're going out of business, and they think they can get all the insurance money by doing that. And it's not restaurants and pubs and stuff. I mean, historically, there's been quite a few different trades. The rag trade was always a absolute certainty for some fires. Clothing manufacturers.
Oh, right.
But obviously, we don't really have any in the UK anymore.
Yeah.
Certainly not in London, but there used to be quite a few in Hornsey and all that sort of area.
Right.
And regularly they go up in smoke, and inevitably the insurance companies look into their finances, and if they can find a reason why the fire was started deliberately and your finances don't look good, they probably won't pay your claim.
So that's ridiculous. It must be so obvious at some point.
It was much less obvious back in the day. So in the 70s and 80s, I guess, you would, you'd have these sort of things happen, and the forensic investigation would be much more complicated than it is now.
Yeah.
You can get the forensics will go in now and they'll tell you where this fire was started.
Yeah.
Right here, and the cause of the fire and what have you. So it's much harder to do that sort of thing now.
Imagine you were actually skint and someone burned down your restaurant, and then they said, "Nah, you've obviously done that on purpose."
Yeah, terrible.
Oh, that would be such bad.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's it does happen. It does happen. But I think generally, if you've got a semi-decent broker, and even if you have to go to a lawyer, that they would have to prove beyond doubt that you set fire.
Have you had incidents where someone's rung you and said this has happened, and you think that's BS?
So I'll give you an example right now. So just before lockdown, we had a client who had a few really nice cars and a few restaurants and stuff, amongst other things. And he phoned us up just before lockdown, and he had a Lamborghini that he was keeping in a garage in London. And he said, I'm going to move it to my friend's farm out of London. He's used to driving these cars because I don't want to pay the storage because I don't know how long lockdown's going to be. And we said, okay. So we told the insurance company. And then a couple of weeks into lockdown, we get a phone call, and this guy whose farm it was on had reversed the car into a stream on his farm, and the vehicle was written off. And it was like, I can't remember exactly, like 200 grand, this thing. And that claim never got paid.
Wow. You do watches and everything like that?
Yeah, we insure watches, but as part of like a household insurance.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we've had clients with, sizable watch collections, hundreds of thousands, probably millions.
You don't.
One that we were talking about earlier, I'm not, because I don't really want to mention names.
Yeah. I presume it's quite confidential.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, absolutely.
How long does the process take?
Well, it depends on what it is. Something like that will take probably 3 to 5 days, maybe, for us to do.
And what's that going to cost, that insurance? I've got no idea.
Oh, my goodness.
25,000.
Is this has to be leaked?
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, no, that's
by the time it goes out, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
So, 25,000 square feet of dilapidated ex-bingo hall.
Yeah. I think the premium for that's about 35,000.
Okay.
How'd you get that number?
Because I'm remembering it from what we've done.
But how do you calculate that?
Oh, we won't calculate it. We'll send it to an insurance company, and we'll discuss it with them.
What is it?
They have rates. So rate per thousand of the building sum insured that they will charge for a vacant unit that's going to have some work done to it.
And we'll look at this crime rate of the area?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. There'll be an element of that. I mean, there'll be areas that they wouldn't insure it in.
I'm assuming, though, they're looking at it and taking a risk on the basis if it burnt down, they'd have to rebuild it. Is that
correct?
Yeah,
correct.
Okay.
And really, the only real risk there is fire.
Yeah.
And for the period that they're going to be doing the works, which I think is about 6 months, and then they're going to be occupying it. And we have to, for something like that, which is quite big, that's vacant, that's going to be worked on. We have to put in some favours from insurance companies. So we'll pick up the phone to someone and say, look, you've done loads of nice business for us
And
recently.
that's a commercial building with the sort of heavily listed church buildings. And I have faith groups ring me and they haven't got a clue where to go.
Yeah.
Have you got like a little core secret black book of who you know to
It's
go
not.
to?
It's not even. It's not even a secret. I mean, there are 3 or 4 insurers that people would go to, that brokers would go to, for that sort of thing. They're mainly not open to direct dealing with clients.
Okay.
So
That's
clients
why
couldn't
they
go
can't
to.
get
Correct.
them and
Yeah.
they're clueless.
Yeah. Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. And there, for smaller buildings, for smaller non-listed buildings, there are some insurance companies that they will know of that they'll be able to go to and get it done. But for bigger listed buildings, vacant, they're not interested in those.
So I'm nicking all your questions.
No, you're good.
But okay, so what have you been asked to get insured and you've absolutely failed, where you thought you could win and get it, and you're like, oh, I've tried everywhere.
Goodness me.
That is a good question.
Yeah.
That is a really good question. There obviously are some things, but I honestly can't remember.
Rubbish.
Yeah. No, I honestly can't remember where. What have we not been able to insure? I mean, we did have.
You can insure a satellite. I'll be amazed.
Like David Beckham, didn't he insure his face?
Yeah, that's.
Do you do any of that sort of
No, I mean, that's very, very specialist, and there are specific brokers and insurers who will do that. And even if we got an inquiry to do that, we'd probably pass it on.
So that, say you have those relationships in the market, that's not us, but go and call Joe.
Absolutely.
That's his
for
speciality.
things like David Beckham's face or Messi's left foot, because I know he got his.
Yeah.
But I don't understand. So if someone breaks David Beckham's nose, then what?
Well,
does he get money?
In theory, whoever's getting the taking out the policy, so it might be his agency on his behalf, or he might be doing it himself. If the idea is to replace lost income as a result of something happening. So if Messi couldn't play football and his contract's paid up, I presume his club at the moment has got some insurance, because they don't want to be paying him whatever he's paid, £1 million a week or whatever for the next 6 months, and he can't play, or he's not going to play again.
But it's interesting how, I know this is just a very unique example, it's interesting how he only got his left foot insured, but what if he breaks his right foot?
I don't know the answer.
David Beckham's got his face insured, but what if he
breaks his arm?
Breaks his arm.
I don't know. I think most of these things, to be honest, the reality is most of these things are a bit gimmicky. Yeah. So that someone said, well, we've insured Messi's left leg. Yeah. They might have insured, bought some accident cover on his whole body.
Yeah. Yeah. What are some things that people might not know are taken into account, where, like I just said before, like crime rate?
Yeah.
What's like something that people be like, what? That matters?
Yeah, I mean, there are a whole number of factors taken into account for all different,
for property, for example.
Yeah, for property. So where it is, what it is, what it's made of, what it's going to be occupied as, what the security is. All those things will be a factor in the price that someone pays.
Do you know when you get you're like, that's going to cost $5,000, or it's going to cost $55,000.
Absolutely.
You how close in a margin are you always?
Pretty close.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, pretty close. I mean, if someone phones us up and says we've got a beautiful brand new office building in London and it's fully occupied, we'll know exactly what the rate is going to be on that. So,
and would you do that on a £1 per square foot? But it's 40,000 square feet, so it's going to be £1 a square foot. Is it like that? Or is it a flat fee?
Well, the 40,000 square foot would be at, say, £300 a foot to get the value, and then multiply that by the insurance rate, and that's how you would get to it. Yeah.
What's the biggest? I know, like I said on the way up here, people like numbers. What's the biggest payout that you've had?
So, the biggest claim we've had was a fire at a restaurant. We're lucky enough to insure some quite a few restaurants, but a restaurant chain in London, and they had a fire. I think it was 2019, and the actual the value of the claim for repairing the whole interior and for their lost revenue was about 7 million.
Ooh.
in addition to that, and this was quite interesting.
What restaurant is this? You're allowed to say? It's a nice one.
Yeah, nice one.
Knightsbridge.
No, Mayfair.
Mayfair.
Michelin star Indian restaurant.
Ooh.
So yeah.
Okay, that narrows it down.
Yeah.
Google.
Yeah. Google that later.
2 million.
Two Michelin
It's the
stars.
income, isn't it? It's the fit out and then that income, that loss of income.
Yeah.
That's going to be a lot.
Are they back up and running?
Yeah, they were back up and running within about 7 months.
Okay.
And there were two quite interesting things on that claim. So when they got back up and running, just before they opened, they were talking to the insurance company about funding some influencers going to the restaurant, because obviously they wanted to get back up and running as quick as possible, and they felt that one of the best ways was to get some influencers into the restaurant, etc. And the insurance company actually paid, I think it was about 100 grand for the cost of influencers to go back into the restaurant.
Okay.
And almost immediately they started again, and they were full from day one.
Yeah.
Which was really good. The other interesting thing is, and I'm not sure if this claim is still going on, so I have to be a little bit careful about what I say. So upstairs to the restaurant, there was an art gallery, and they had smoke damage to some really valuable paintings.
Ooh.
And I'm not sure if the claim's still going on, but we did get a claim in for started off at about 20 million for damage to the paintings.
Was it Banksy?
No. These were more like old master
Da
type
Vinci.
things.
Wow.
Yeah, well, it wasn't Da Vinci, but I don't know the exact information, but I do know that the claim started off at 20 million. I think it went down to about 10 and then about 8, and it was still going on about a year ago.
Wow.
So you put that together, that's a 15 million pound claim.
Wow.
And the insurance premium on that restaurant was 20,000 or something.
I'm assuming you don't smell anything rotten other than the fire, but you don't smell there was anything dodgy going on. But do you think with that, people, excuse my French, but are taking the piss a bit? They're like, let's see what we can get away with.
I think lots of people think that when something happens. What we would say to clients is, if you come out at the end of it, after all the aggravation you've had, and you haven't really lost any money, or the loss is minimal, then you've done really, really well. That the aggravation that people have to go through, to prove your claim, so they get forensic experts in to make sure the fire wasn't started, maybe in the where the tables are, and it actually did happen in the kitchen as they were told, and all those sorts of things. There's so much aggravation that.
Yeah. I agree with that. I had a flood in my basement. Yeah. And it was just, I got out just about even in the end.
Yeah. After all the time and aggravation.
Yeah.
Every so often on this podcast, I'll just get a mental business idea that might be good or bad. But when you said influencers, is this a thing already? But are some social media pages insured? Can you insure?
Well, I think what
like in case they get suspended for copyright.
Yeah, I mean, you can get that sort of insurance, but whether or not many people do, I very much doubt.
Yeah.
Because I think they're probably very careful that they don't offend anyone, don't use the wrong copyrights and things like that. And obviously, if you've got a really popular influencer and they use someone's logo, for instance, unless they've been badly affected, they couldn't make a claim anyhow. Right. And more than likely, if an influencer is using a logo, it's probably going to do the business more good than bad.
No, but I mean, in the sense that, for example, my page, right? If I woke up in the morning and it was gone, suspended for copyright.
Yeah.
What would, if I was insured on that, what could I get back from it?
Yeah, I think nothing really. I think where you would be looking to insure is if you put information on one of your sites and the information was incorrect and someone sued you. So you can buy insurance for that.
Right. Okay.
What if his website was producing a specific income which he could prove,
so I was going to ask.
And then it's gone down, not his fault, but it's gone down or he's blocked, he's losing income?
Yeah, again, potentially there's some cyber insurance. You could buy some cyber insurance for that sort of thing. But they'd want to know why to start with, rather than You can't just buy the cover and then expect to get paid. That's a bit more complex than a business protecting themselves by buying cyber insurance.
Any cyber insurance companies that you want to shout out, or would you not plug?
No, I don't want to plug any, because the ones that I don't plug will be will get upset with me.
As an insurance broker, have you ever turned around and said, "Stop, you're overinsured"?
I don't think we have. The biggest problem in insurance, to get boring nitty-gritty insurance, is underinsurance. Okay. So someone will insure a building we get calls all the time. Oh, I bought a building for 2 million quid. Can you insure it for 2 million? What is it? It's a 50,000 foot warehouse, on 4 floors, and the rebuild costs £500 a square foot. And we'll say, actually, no, that should be 3 million sum insured, or 2.5 million sum insured. Don't insure it for the value, for the cost that you bought it for. And we get that all the time, but lots of people don't know about that, and they think they'll insure for the price they've paid for the building, not the reinstatement value.
Right.
We've got one client who had a claim. We weren't the brokers at the time, many years ago, and they did exactly that. They bought a pub for about 300 grand or something, and the broker should have known that the rebuild cost was about 800 grand. And they had a fire, got burnt down by a local vagrant who ended up going to prison for it and everything. And the client sued the broker because they were just totally negligent in not advising the client to insure properly, which he would have done had he known.
Okay.
So they sued him for the £500,000.
What is a premium?
A premium that's the price you pay for your insurance.
Okay. And if I ask you what the biggest premium that you've had, is that a different answer to the biggest payout that you've had?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Am I being an idiot there?
No, not really. Not really.
No.
We had a client who acquired a number of pubs back in, can't remember, probably the mid-90s, maybe the early 2000s, when there was a big diversification of the pubs from the big, I think there were big 2 or 3 landlords at the time, and my client ended up with about 3,500 pubs, and their premium was 4 million quid.
3,500 pubs?
Yeah.
Oh my word!
And their premium was about 4 million quid.
Which was Joe Lewis by any chance?
No, it wasn't Joe Lewis.
Interesting. Okay, how many payouts do you have a year, would you say, on average?
That's just, I couldn't even really answer that. I mean, I guess we'd probably have 500 a year or something, 500 claims a year that clients would have commercially on fleets. I mean, obviously we do clients' fleets. We insure their fleets in addition to their normal insurance, and cars and vans are just having accidents every day.
Really?
Literally hundreds and hundreds.
Yeah. So what sector do you spend most of your time focusing on?
In our business, we've probably got 3 or 4 real sectors that we concentrate on. So we've got quite a lot of construction clients. So they'd just be building companies, all types of building companies. We do a lot of property and real estate. So property portfolios, individual buildings, that sort of thing. We do a lot of fleet insurance, which is always aligned with the client's businesses. And we do a lot of leisure, so restaurants, nightclubs, that sort of thing.
Which sector gives you the most thrill?
Restaurants and nightclubs.
Oh, nightclubs.
Is that because you get free membership?
There's no free membership. There's no free membership. We get the odd, why don't you bring a couple of people from work and come along?
Queue,
and skip the queue and get a table in a nightclub. Yeah, it's quite good.
Tape?
Sorry,
Tape London?
No, not Tape. I'm quite happy. We've got Cirque du Soir.
Cirque du Soir.
Yeah,
is that in Paris?
No, look it up. I'm surprised someone like you would have been to Cirque.
Not really a clubber, but
okay.
Cirque. How am I spelling that?
CIRQUE. Then new word le, and then new word soir.
Ooh.
That's pretty. It's an interesting club. Very interesting.
I mean,
yeah. I just think
Interesting as it sophisticated, or interesting as your wife wouldn't approve?
the latter, I would guess.
Probably not a good idea on the arson front.
Yeah, no, they're not really proper flames. I don't think.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
they're
essential.
so, but that's great. That's a fantastic night out. You know, we've had a couple of nights there. We've got a few others. We've got Taboo, which is in Dover Street. Oh goodness me, what other ones have we got?
Do you go to these places often?
No, I don't go. They're not really my bag, and I'm not the target market really. Some of the restaurants we go to, we sort of try and support our clients. And
we're both getting old. I actually feel like walking into these places now. No one wants to see me there.
Yeah. I think the nightclubs definitely not. Yeah, the restaurants. Yeah, we try and support our clients.
Dancing.
Sorry,
we can do a bit of dad dancing.
Yeah.
You were saying before we came that a lot of insurance brokers struggle to, the term isn't deal, is it? Is it deal?
In terms of
premiums and stuff like that, to acquire premiums.
No, I don't think so. I think I think the insurance broking business is a great business.
Why were you saying that people struggle?
I don't remember saying that.
Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
Fair enough. Maybe I've just.
Yeah, no. Look, there are loads of insurance brokers, literally thousands of insurance brokers around the country.
Why are you different from the others then?
Do you know what? I said that before. I don't think I'm that much different, but in the areas that I deal with, I give clients a really good service. We as a business give our clients a great service on, across the board. It doesn't matter if you pay us £100 or 100,000, you'll get the same service. And there are loads of brokers around the country that would do that. Well, obviously where we have a connection with our clients, the clients want to deal with us. You can't really save money by going to another broker necessarily. So it's not really a cost issue. It's who do you want to deal with? Do you want to deal with someone who you like, or are you happy to just deal with someone who you don't know?
Is it a very people's, you've got to be a person.
Absolutely. It's a people business. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. I think so. I mean, we've got people in the office who don't really go out and see clients because that's the way they are. But most of the people in our office want to go out and see clients, see insurance companies. And I'm a great believer in, as far as insurance companies are concerned, if I go and see an underwriter and get friendly with them, they will do me a better deal than if another broker does that.
We've had this discussion with regards to agents as well, just standard property agents.
Yeah.
And the younger generation just want to hide behind the email and the WhatsApp, and they don't want to build the relationships.
Yeah.
Do you feel the same?
There is an element of that, but less so in our industry. But also we have a big problem with recruiting at the younger age. So people coming into the business, it's a massive, massive problem.
Why?
I don't think we sell our industry well enough. Everyone who comes into our office as either a new starter or looking to move jobs, they'll be sold our business by the people in our business, so me and the other guys in our office. And we're all absolutely dead keen on what we do, dealing with our clients. And what we really need to do is go to go into schools locally, every insurance broker around the country.
So you want to show?
Yeah, show what we do. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I get it. And people just thinking, it's insurance, it's boring, it's grey office, grey suit.
Correct.
Yeah.
And we get a lot of social in our industry. I'm sure difficult to compare to other industries, but we're out all the time. We get to go to some nice restaurants sometimes, but bars, and we'll meet with underwriters, we'll meet with clients, and we do a bit of travelling as well. And
so to the younger generation, there's opportunity there.
Absolutely.
In your sector.
Absolutely.
You worried about AI?
I'm not worried about AI. From what we've heard and what we discussed, AI is really going to be focused at insurance company level. They have so much admin to do. So say we, as an example, we get a new risk from you guys. We'll make a presentation up for them, a Word document or Excel or whatever, and we'll send it to them. They have to do so much work to get that onto their system that they are working hard to get AI to do all of that, because that will then save the underwriter the job of doing all of that, and they could get to a stage of giving us a quote much quicker.
Okay.
But from our business, AI is never going to take over, because every single letter we write is individual. So we'll have templates, but I don't envisage a time when AI will be able to rewrite that letter for every different client.
I hope you're right.
Yeah.
Though I was chatting with a broker previously, a finance broker, and they're trying to plug into like auction websites where people bid on a property. While they're bidding, it's already connected to every financial lender out there, and they're sitting on 10 offers immediately, all via AI. What would be the difference, in your business?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't envisage it being an issue, but when someone says something like that,
It's scary.
Yeah.
I think what's scary is when AI will be able to produce AI. And then that AI can produce AI, and then they're just going to take over. We will be controlled, I think, by artificial intelligence. I really do think, quickly as well.
It'll be our God.
Yeah.
Yeah, mad.
Yeah.
Well, if that happens and we can all go and sit on a beach somewhere.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
But loads of people will be out of jobs.
Yeah.
You can't afford to be sitting on a beach. But you're very, not lucky, but fortunate that the industry that you work in can never go out of date. People will always need to be insured.
Absolutely. Yeah. There's always a need for insurance. And whether AI develops to take away some of our jobs, who knows?
Yeah.
But the way it's been sort of sold to us so far is, at worst, you're going to have an AI assistant who does a lot of the menial stuff.
Yeah.
But you're never going to take away the client relationship aspect. But then again, if you've got young businessmen coming into businesses who don't want to have the relationship, and they're happy to sit behind a desk, maybe that in time that will disappear.
Yeah, so it's not looking good for the introverts of the world, is it?
No.
Yeah.
Well, they all think it is looking good. They'll enjoy it.
Yeah. 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 What's how much work does work take over your life, or do you have a nice balance between?
No, I've got a nice balance. I think everyone who works for our company have got quite a nice balance. I work from the office 5 days a week, but
Where's your office?
in Kingsbury.
Okay, nice.
Kingsbury, we overlook Wembley Stadium.
Yeah.
So it's quite a nice outlook.
Yeah, you've travelled far, haven't you? You told me earlier.
I've travelled
go
far.
Give them your bearings, yeah.
From when I grew up.
Yeah, from when you grew up to where you are.
Yeah,
now.
Well, moved a few times, but always in the same area.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I was born in Edgware, which is about 2 miles away from Stanmore.
Yeah.
Managed to persuade my wife, who also lived in Edgware all her life, to move to Stanmore about 10 years ago. Actually, it might have been 10, 11 years ago, and that's it. And our office is in Kingsbury, which is about 6 miles from my home.
2 train stops.
It's actually 4.
Okay.
It's actually 4.
So you live in Stanmore now?
Yeah.
My girlfriend lives in Stanmore.
Does she?
Chandos Court.
Rings a bell. Rings a bell.
The Sainsbury's.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
Puma.
Yeah, well, we're just at the top of the hill.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. There all the time.
I don't know about Stanmore. I think it's a bit Star Warsy, if you know what I mean. There's so many different characters there.
Okay.
Do you not agree?
No, I don't. I think it's quite bland, actually. It's quite nice. It's a really nice place, but I think the people are quite bland.
Yeah, but what I mean by that is like you'll see people someone looks like they're going to a wedding, someone then looks like they're about to rob a bank, like walking next to each other.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I hadn't noticed the bank robber at all. Yeah, the wedding
walk down the high road.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's interesting there.
Yeah, okay.
So you live in Stanmore now.
Yeah.
And you're in the office 5 days a week.
Yeah.
How do you're 62 years old. When do you want to stop doing that?
Yeah, I mean, obviously that thought has sort of obviously crossed my mind. Boss Tony is actually retiring at the end of the year. He's 67. I really enjoy what I do, and I don't envisage that I'm going to stop working probably until I'm 70. What I would like to do is just cut down my days slowly. I probably shouldn't say this on here, but I don't have to work 5 days a week at the moment. My time is very much my own. I don't take the mickey at work at all, but
you enjoy it.
I enjoy it, but I've got everything under control. Everything seems to be under control. So,
but he asked you a question earlier, and I can't. Maybe it's my fault if I don't remember correctly, but he asked you when you sort of could have that like breath that everything was okay.
Yeah.
And when was that? When did you realise that got a little bit of money in the bank, got a little bit of breathing room? This is covered, that's covered. I can just sort of not chill, but I don't have to worry anymore.
I think probably during COVID.
Okay.
So working from home during COVID, life just seemed to be much more relaxed because I wasn't going into the office at the time. And, I remember getting up and sort of starting work about, maybe 9:30 in the morning. And then I'd sit out on the balcony and have a bit of lunch. And then as the sun was shining all the time, 3:30, 4 o'clock in the afternoon came and I'd probably close my computer. But, like everybody, I got my emails and my phone still working. So, and I think after that, it's sort of dawned on me that, life doesn't have to be such a rush and get everything under control and you can still deal with it all.
COVID is so marmitey. Some people loved it and some people hated it. Did you like it? I can't remember if you said
it was different. I'll tell you what was interesting. My mum lives in Cornwall. And actually, I've never spoken to her so much. We literally spoke twice a day for that whole period. And that was interesting. Yeah. Made us closer.
Yeah, which is obviously a good thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I enjoyed the working from home bit for that period.
Yeah.
But I don't enjoy working from home generally. And I think what it made me do was look at what was going on around, and I thought there were some really bad decisions, and don't want to get into politics today, but there were some really bad decisions, and that changed my view on politicians and what they do and how they do it and everything. And, that was quite interesting.
My daughter got on a graduate fast track scheme within the civil service and was in the middle of all that while COVID was going on. She said it was chaos, and it was just they're all up their own arse. It's all about. She felt there was almost a misinformation campaign going on, so to confuse the public so they could get away with what they wanted, because there were announcements going on, yet she was seeing internal correspondence saying, well, that's completely counter to what we're being told. It was mental. She got out, she hated it.
I always say that, and look, a lot of people really struggled, sadly, from COVID and the lockdown. But I always say that I feel like the world was at a point where actually we could have done with the lockdown. I think everyone just needed to chill out for a minute.
Could probably do that now, couldn't we? Really?
As I was just going to say, we could probably do with it now. But at the time, there was, the George Floyd thing going on, and Trump and war with Russia, and I think the world just needed to chill the fuck out.
I get that, but we've got a massive debt because of it now.
Yeah, I don't know if they thought about that. I don't know if they thought about the future. Okay, so you enjoyed COVID. I did as well.
I did.
Every day was sunny.
It was beautiful, and I love the sun. Yeah. So get up in the morning, and I'm lucky enough where we live. We have our own park. I'm on a development, and we have our own park, so we could go walking in the park every day and just sit in the park, enjoy the sunshine, and I really loved that. That was that would be my pleasure now. That or sitting by a beach.
Yeah.
Do you want to when you retire? Do you think you'll retire and live in England?
That is a really, really good question. I mean, I've got 2 kids. One's married, one's getting married, and hopefully they'll have kids. And it would depend very much on where they live. Because I wouldn't want to live somewhere where I couldn't see grandchildren.
Where would you move?
If I moved away?
Yeah. If just hypothetically.
Yeah. I guess probably Spain.
Yeah.
We used to have a holiday home in Spain.
Bob's?
Well, just down the road.
Okay.
In Estepona. And whilst we had it, it was fantastic. We could go there anytime, just drop of a hat.
I can imagine you get quite tanned.
I do get quite tanned. I do. I like the sun. I just like being out in the sun.
Yeah.
Whatever It doesn't have to be sitting by a pool.
Yeah.
Just walking down the beach or whatever. Yeah.
Proper Chels. What do your kids do?
My older boy is in bridging finance, so property bridging finance, and the younger one is foreign exchange sales.
Oh,
yeah. I don't really understand exactly what he does, but he's they're both doing okay. Both really good kids.
Yeah.
One's got a lovely wife and the other one's got a lovely fiance.
So you said that you don't want to get into politics, but I'm curious to know what you think of the future of this country. Do you think that it's going to get better or worse?
I don't know the answer to that, but I think the politicians need to take a serious look at what needs to change in this country. And no one ever seems to have the balls to do that, basically, because I think the NHS clearly is fantastic, but it can't go on running like it is.
Yeah.
I think schools obviously are fantastic, but they need to change lots about schools, in my view. It's like work. I think that, and there are lots of companies doing it, I think, as well. I think that a 4-day week eventually will be the norm, which I think is a really good thing, because I think
I've got one daughter who does that. She's a programmer, and she loves it, and she makes great use of that all day.
Yeah.
4-day week?
Just a 4-day working week. Yeah. So my working week will be Monday to Thursday, and I won't work Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And I think that is the way forward. You still get paid the same. Still, everything remains unaltered apart from that.
What's the benefit of it?
You just get more work-life balance. Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. 4-day week? I can't do that, really. I'm not employed.
When you're self-employed, you can't do that.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah, I think I think that's coming. There are companies that have been trialing it. I think some have ditched it and some are continuing with it. But I think particularly, in our industry, as long as someone is working Monday to Friday, then it doesn't matter if I'm working 3 days and someone else is working 3 days or 4 days. It doesn't matter really. I think that's coming. I think we should change the whole school system. I think we should make the days shorter and possibly have a 4-day school week.
They should teach stuff like insurance,
correct,
tax.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because when you leave school, you're 16 and you go to either college or sixth form and then uni. But they don't teach you that. You've got to rely on YouTube and all that sort of.
Yeah.
That's what I don't understand. How people from your generation, how did you learn it?
I think we learned it from our parents.
Right.
I learned everything from my parents, really. But my kids have not learned the same things from me. Not because I particularly went around teaching them anything, but I think maybe they relied more on what we do.
Yeah.
For those sorts of things, like my kids' car insurance.
Yeah.
They rely on me to do it.
Yeah.
But.
Yeah, but because we never taught how to do
it. Yeah. No, I think
we never had YouTube though. Yeah. So I mean.
Yeah, but you were harder. You had more balls back in the day. We're all soft now. We don't. We need to be, rather than learning about photosynthesis and all that crap in school. Why are they not? It's weird why they are not
teaching more life skills. Yeah, definitely.
When you leave school and you're out in this dark world that we live in today, you need to know about this stuff. Yeah. But they're poisoning their brains with Shakespeare. Who cares?
I think you need to know a little bit about that. But I do, I agree. I think the whole school curriculum needs to change. Yeah, I really do.
In a deep, dark world that we live in, there is someone over here that's shining a little bit of light. Alex Dawson. I don't know if you've seen. I've got the statistics here. He's recently. He was in Forbes. Now the Evening Standard, Estates Gazette, Nursery World, Islington Gazette, Ham and High. Have you been seeing this?
I have been seeing it. Like you, I did a bit of research before today, and I was really amazed to see some of the magazines and what have you that you've been in. So you're getting around, aren't you?
That's a bad statement.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
I think you were born for fame.
Do you reckon? Yeah, the introvert that I am. Yeah.
What is happening right now in the world? Sorry to take the limelight away from
No.
you, but what is happening in the world of Alex Dawson and in the world of Alex Martin? Why? I'm not going to say all of a sudden, but how did it get to this point where you're being publicised for doing the amazing work that you do?
Thanks, Matt.
That's right.
I mean, I think it's a slow burn. I mean, I've been around a while, but we are doing something right. But we've just put some foundations in place, things like which you can't justify, particularly in terms of finances, but doing the deals, the website where we've got the comps online, the values get in there, and the instructions are just starting to come. And that's basically what's changed in the last 2 years. We're being retained, where originally we were very much an acquisition agent. And our expertise is being noticed, and we're getting approached, and people are wanting our opinion, and we know our stuff. There you go.
Yeah, you're very niche, aren't you? People like that. That's what people say. You're very niche, and when you've got a niche, it's very strong.
But the thing is, it's not just. I'm known as kind of the weird church guy. I've always been that. Yeah. And faith has been the foundation. And that's what's getting us the instructions around the country. But the likes of Joe Fox working for me, he's managing to ride that and then get involved in the education and the nursery sector. And we are, formerly we were purely within the M25, but we really are going national now. And there are big things to come. I am proper excited. Nothing's easy. Anyone says they're enjoying the commercial property market right now is lying.
Really?
Yeah, it's tough out there. But we are growing.
How did you find your niche?
I was an industrial agent.
Okay.
And I have a slightly colourful background in terms of people I know, and I've got mixed race kids.
Mm-hmm.
And I was showing weird pastors around industrial sheds who wanted to rent them as churches, and where your typical agent wouldn't take them seriously. I just said, I was hungry.
Yeah.
What do you want? Understood them. Took a little bit more time. And that's how I found that market. Distressed buildings and a demand that no one was tapping into. And that's where it started.
Yeah, good for you.
Good for Al.
Yeah.
Well, and now I'm curious to ask you, in a world that is moving so quickly with technology, you're sat here, you're the first insurance broker that we've had on. Do you think that
the only one you're going to have on?
Yeah.
The only one?
Yeah.
Is this, the direction that it's going in? You've got to get your face out there. You've got to get some sort of PR.
I don't know is the answer, but it intrigues me. I'm still hungry to learn and understand stuff. And obviously, I see the power of social media.
Yeah.
And for me, getting involved in a podcast is quite exciting. Doing our own podcast, unless we could get some interesting clients on, then it just, no one wants to talk about the ins and outs
But
of
you
policy
can.
wording.
Yeah. So what I love is insurance, or it's a broker, or it's a property developer, or it's an agent, or it's a solicitor. There's always someone within that sector. You've got guys wanting to put satellites in space.
Yeah.
You are going to have interesting people to bring on.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. And the thing is with something like this is, how much better is this than going for a 45-minute coffee?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I can't tell you how much I've been speaking about this for the last couple of weeks. I've been driving people mad. I'm good at driving people mad, but I've been so excited about it, and just to see what it's like, and understand it, and maybe we might use you to host one of our clients with us or whatever.
No, I'm game.
Although I understand you're
well, I am loyal to Alex Martin Commercial, but I am also.
You've got no time.
Slag, so.
You've got no time either, from what I can understand.
Yeah,
you're pretty busy
Can I
yourself.
negotiate the deal, please?
Yeah.
Off cam. This is the world that we live in now, and rather than driving past a billboard on the motorway and seeing something and then forgetting it, you could just go on Alex Martin Commercial YouTube and watch 15 episodes.
Yeah.
And get to know the people in the industry.
Yeah.
I think it's
Or Gary Field YouTube.
Yeah.
Or Gary Field YouTube. Yeah. Will that be coming at some point?
I think it has to, doesn't it? Really.
He's a natural, isn't he?
Yeah. I'm not a natural.
Well, I heard you were a little bit nervous coming in. And
very, very nervous.
You don't seem it at all.
Yeah. I'm still nervous, I can tell you that. Yeah. No.
Lift up the arms.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Is it bad? Is it bad?
You're fine.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm probably sweating as well.
Yeah. No, I've I don't know. I don't know if I'm
bad. I wave my hands around.
Yeah.
I've watched you. Your hands are just fixed. You're very cool.
Oh no, I've done a bit of hand waving today. I have done a bit of hand waving today. I don't know if we're coming to the end, and my hands are fixed. Yeah, I think I'm a bit like you. Funnily enough, I'm a bit of an introvert, I think, and I get excited when I talk about insurance.
It's good.
Yeah.
What a loser.
I know. Well, I'm nearly at the end of my career, so it doesn't really matter. But
if not retired, in 5 years' time, where do you see yourself? Just doing the same thing?
Yeah, I think so. You know, unless something really changed, you know, I really enjoy what I do. I'm lucky enough to have some really great clients. I mean, actually, people don't realise how much we care about them and how much we feel about them. But I'm lucky to have some really, really great clients, and they're very loyal, and I can't see myself doing anything else.
Sorry, mate. Is there anything on your bucket list that you want to do away from work?
No, I'm not a great bucket list type believer. I mean, obviously, I like to travel to some more places and that sort of thing. But I never had any ambition when I left school. And I haven't really got any ambitions left. I'm lucky enough to do a few things. I mentioned before, opening the stock exchange.
Yeah.
Hardly anyone's ever done that. So,
you need those grandchildren to come through, don't you?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I'm a massive football fan, so I'm lucky enough to see Chelsea win a few trophies overseas and stuff like that.
Talk about that.
Yeah.
Bought for £1, by the way.
Yeah, we'll take that. So yeah, look, I haven't really got any massive ambition, but
you seem pretty content, pretty happy.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, that's good. And I can presume that you are very loved by your clients as well.
I'd like to think so.
Yeah.
I'd like to think so. I think they do appreciate me and us as a whole team, all of our clients. Sometimes it doesn't come across like that, but people have their own stresses every day.
Yeah.
And often we remind ourselves that, we don't know what the guy at the other end of the phone has had going on in his life or his business. And if they have a pop at us, there's probably a reason for it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And before we wrap up, it's difficult to answer it on the spot, but is there anyone that comes to mind that you would like to see sat in that chair with me now?
Oh my goodness, that is a really good question. Can I take a rain check on that and come back to you on that?
Yeah. No, you can send us a text and then we can put it out.
Okay. Yeah.
But Gary, been great to get to know you, my friend.
Yeah,
Thank you. Thank you very much
indeed.
for your time.
Brilliant.
Thank you all for watching. God bless.